1 week ago, Adam released a report that should have been front-page news, but wasn't. In the first quarter of 2026, 118,727 U.S. properties had a foreclosure filing, up 26% from a year ago. Bank repossessions, lenders physically taking homes back, surged 45% year over year to 14,020 in just 3 months.
Foreclosure rates are not slowing down. They were up almost a quarter last month compared to September of last year.
High foreclosure rates are on the rise across the country, particularly here in Florida. According to real estate experts, the Sunshine State leads the U.S. Lenders in Florida started the foreclosure process on 1 in every 1,800 homes last month. And Tampa has seen the highest rate in the country.
Foreclosure rates continue to rise. Industry experts say while the numbers aren't historically alarming,
in March alone, lenders initiated foreclosure on 30,334 properties, up 21% from a year earlier. And completed repossessions in March jumped 42% from last year. That's not normalization, that's acceleration. And here's what nobody is connecting for you. The foreclosure numbers you're seeing right now are from borrowers who fell behind 12 to 18 months ago. The wave that's building underneath, the one driven by 11.52% FHA delinquency rates, collapsing cure rates, and a housing market that just went nationally negative for the first time in over a decade, that wave hasn't even hit the foreclosure pipeline yet. What you're looking at in today's data is the warm-up. The main event is still loading. Today, we're breaking down exactly what the foreclosure data is telling us, where it's hitting hardest, who's getting destroyed, and why the next 12 months could reshape the American housing landscape. Section 2, the FHA data, is the part that should alarm you most. Stay for it. If this kind of data helps you make smarter decisions about your home, your money, or your investments, subscribe and hit the bell. We publish this every single week while it's still actionable. Let's get into it. First, the national picture, because the trajectory is undeniable. Adam's data shows foreclosure activity has been climbing for 12 consecutive months on an annual basis. That's a full year of unbroken acceleration. Here's the quarter-by-quarter escalation in 2026 alone. Q1 saw 82,631 foreclosure starts, up 7% from Q4 2025 and 20% year over year. January foreclosure starts jumped 26% year over year, with completed foreclosures up 59%. February starts rose 14% year over year, with completions up 35%. March starts climbed 21%, with completions up 42%. Each month worse than the last, every single data point moving in the same direction, and the pipeline is processing faster. Properties foreclosed in Q1 2026 spent an average of 577 days in the process, down 14% from a year ago, marking the 6th consecutive quarterly decline in processing time. Courts and servicers are moving faster. The backlog from pandemic-era moratoria is clearing, and that means the time between a borrower falling behind and losing their home is shrinking rapidly. Now let's talk about where this is concentrated, because it's not random. The states with the highest foreclosure rates in Q1 2026 were Indiana, 1 in every 739 housing units, South Carolina, 1 in every 743, and Florida, 1 in every 750. Illinois and New Jersey rounded out the top 5 for March specifically. At the metro level, the distress is even more concentrated. Among smaller metros, Lakeland and Punta Gorda in Florida, along with Columbia, South Carolina, ranked among the most distressed markets by rate. Among large metros with over 1 million residents, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Orlando, all placed within the top 20 highest foreclosure rates nationally. And the explanation is revealing. DLS Servicing President Donna Schmidt pointed directly at Florida, saying the industry saw 5 years of very low foreclosure rates due to loss mitigation policies that allowed borrowers to kick the can down the road. She added that the surge in homeowners insurance rates has pushed many people to move out of the Sun Belt, and Florida homeowners who bought during COVID at inflated prices now cannot sell their properties and fully satisfy their liens. In other words, they owe more than the home is worth. they can't afford to stay, and they can't afford to leave. Foreclosure becomes the only exit. Folks, if this data is opening your eyes to what's really building underneath the surface, share this video with someone who needs to see these numbers. And if you're not subscribed, now's the time. We track every foreclosure report, every delinquency data drop, every week. Now Section 2, the FHA crisis underneath the crisis, because this is the part that tells you what's coming next. FHA delinquency hit 11.52% in Q4 2025, the highest since mid-2021, and up 74 basis points in a single quarter. Let me put that in perspective. The conventional mortgage delinquency rate is 1.78%. FHA is 11.52%. That's a 6.5 times multiplier. For every one conventional borrower behind on payments, there are 6.5 FHA borrowers in trouble. And here's why that matters more than most people realize. FHA loans now account for a record 44% of low credit score mortgages, up from 11% in 2006. They also account for more than half of all seriously delinquent mortgages in the country. These are the borrowers who put the least money down, typically 3.5%, on homes bought at or near the peak. They are the most vulnerable to negative equity, and they are getting destroyed. ICE Mortgage Monitor data shows nearly 70% of 2023 and 2024 vintage FHA loans in Cape Coral are underwater. 65% of 2022 vintage FHA loans in Austin are underwater. 57% of 2023 vintage FHA loans in North Port are underwater. These borrowers can't sell, they can't refinance. And now their cure rates, the odds of getting back to current on their payments, have collapsed by 70% among FHA borrowers since Q3 2025. Once they fall behind, they're not catching up. As of late February, 878,000 loans were severely delinquent or in foreclosure, a 25% increase in just 4 months. That pipeline is feeding directly into the foreclosure numbers we're seeing accelerate right now. And the pipeline is getting bigger, not smaller. And here's the historical pattern that should concern everyone. The American Distress Index tracks FHA delinquency as a leading indicator of broader default trends. Before the 2008 crisis, FHA delinquency rates began rising 6 to 9 quarters before conventional mortgage delinquencies followed. FHA borrowers are the canary. They absorb economic shocks first because they have thinner buffers. And right now, those canaries are dropping. The New York Fed's own research confirms the pattern is income stratified. Borrowers in the lowest income zip codes have seen their 90-plus day delinquency rates surge from approximately 0.5% to nearly 3.0% since 2021. Meanwhile, higher income borrowers remain largely insulated. This crisis is hitting the people who can afford it least. First-time buyers, lower-income families, the very people FHA was designed to help into home ownership. Now let me connect the dots on why this is accelerating. MBA's Marina Walsh identified the key drivers: expiration of pandemic-era FHA relief options, disparities in the labor market, and the fact that FHA vintage years 2022 and 2023 are performing significantly worse than 2020 and 2021 vintages. ICE adds that nearly 30% of FHA borrowers also carry student loan debt, and borrowers delinquent on student loans are up to 4 times more likely to be delinquent on their mortgage. Student loan payments resumed after a 5-year pause, levying an additional burden on the exact borrowers who were already struggling. Layer on property taxes that surged 45 to 65% since 2019. Layer on insurance premiums 181% above the national average in Florida. Layer on mortgage rates spiking back to 6.46% after the Iran conflict. And layer on AEI's projection of 3 consecutive years of national price declines. 1% in 2026, 2% in both 2027 and 2028. Every single force that prevents distressed borrowers from recovering is intensifying simultaneously. So, what does this mean going forward? The foreclosure numbers you're seeing today 118,727 filings in Q1 represent borrowers who fell behind 12 to 24 months ago. The 878,000 severely delinquent loans sitting in the pipeline right now represent the filings you're going to see in Q3, Q4, and into 2027. And the FHA delinquency rate at 11.52% with collapsing cure rates represents the wave after that. This isn't a spike, it's a staircase, each quarter higher than the last, each month feeding the next. So what do you do? If you're a homeowner who's fallen behind or is about to, contact your servicer now before you miss a payment. Once you enter the foreclosure pipeline, the average process now takes 577 days, but it's getting shorter every quarter. Options shrink fast. Talk to a HUD-approved housing counselor. It's free, and they know programs you don't. If you're a homeowner with equity in a distressed market, understand that every foreclosure in your neighborhood becomes a comp that pulls your value down. Monitor foreclosure activity in your zip code. If filings are climbing around you, that's a signal to make decisions about your own timeline. If you're a buyer, the distressed inventory emerging from this wave is where the genuine opportunities will surface over the next 12 to 24 months. Short sales, REO properties, motivated sellers who need out. But be patient and be disciplined. Don't catch a falling knife, and always account for insurance and tax costs that may have driven the previous owner into foreclosure in the first place. If you're an investor, the pipeline is telling you exactly where to look. Indiana, South Carolina, Florida, Illinois, New Jersey, those are the states with the highest rates. Lakeland, Punta Gorda, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Orlando, those are the metros. REO inventory is climbing 45% year over year. That's deal flow. Here's the bottom line. 118,727 filings in Q1, up 26% year over year. Bank repossessions up 45%. FHA delinquency at 11.52%. Cure rates collapsed 70%. 878,000 loans severely delinquent. Processing times shrinking, and 3 years of projected national price declines ahead. The wave isn't coming, the wave is here, and the data says it's only getting bigger. Subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a comment telling us what you're seeing in your market. Are foreclosure signs going up? Are neighbors walking away? Those ground level reports help everyone in this community see the full picture. See you in the next one.